Welcome back, everybody. We are in the last planet of phase 3, or the first one, depending on the order that you're doing them. But yeah, this is going to be the third planet that I'm doing in my series, covering all of the territory battle planets as much as I can go. We're currently going through all the planets on phase 5. That's where we're maxing out Malachor, Vandor, and Ring of Catherine. But yeah. So the goal of this guide is to give you full auto squads that you can use to buy yourself time back. If you have full auto squads that I don't use in my video, go ahead and post them in the comment section down below and let me know how they work for you, and we'll test them out and try to go ahead and add more squads to the guide. I'm going to be posting a spreadsheet eventually with all the kind of squads that we can use, and as more squads come out, we'll go ahead and fill that in. So we're going to go ahead and start off with the leftmost planet here. It's just the one of the neutral planets with no specified tunes. Make sure that you go ahead and set up all of your squads in your squads tab or whatever. That way you can go ahead and easily refer back to them. You're not picking around tunes and choosing different things each time. Makes it a whole lot easier, saves yourself a lot of time. For this one, we're going to be using Glat and the Spectre squad and just hitting go. She absolutely melts through this thing. So this one is pretty easy and straightforward. Just takes some time sometimes, depending on the order that things target and stuff. But overall, this is one of the places where Galactic Legend Ahsoka Tano really shines. It's really sad because they didn't give her much of anything in the game. No special events, as I'm sure everybody's acutely aware. But the one thing that she does shine in is territory battle, because she can solo a lot of phases, and with a squad she's useful in every phase. But especially towards the end, there's some squads where she full autos, which is very nice, even on Vandor. I think phase 3 still gives her a little bit of an issue, but other than that, no big deal. That was super quick work, so thankful for that. We're going to be using another Galactic Legend in this second battle over here. This time we're going to be using Leia. Make easy work of this one. So I understand that not everybody's going to have these characters. I really commiserate with you. There was a once upon a time that I didn't have these characters either, and I had to suffer through all these territory battle phases. It's a phase everybody goes through, but it's something to work towards, right? And this is one of the things I love about territory battles. Is the longer it goes on, the longer you play the game, more GP you get, the more characters you get, more relic levels you get, the easier this becomes ultimately. So it's a really far cry from where we were back in the day when we really needed these points and we really needed to manually play them. We had to go 2 for 2 on most phases, you know, and it was teams that were not the greatest for the missions, right? I've used Bad Batch on this before. That's another alternative. It works pretty well under a Padme lead. So something to consider. Maybe that'll make it into the spreadsheet too. But yeah, when you get to the higher levels, you get higher things to play with, and it makes things a whole lot smoother, right? So this one we have a couple more missions after that are a little bit more specific. Now I'm going to be using territory battle Omicrons, and I know a lot of people don't want to waste their Omicrons on territory battles. They feel like if they can do it without the Omicron, then why would they spend the Omicron on it? I completely get that point of view. It's only recently, actually, like this year, that I started using territory battle Omicrons. My reasoning ultimately on using territory battle Omicrons, we're not going to use it just yet. We're doing the Jedi. Which actually we are using a territory battle Omicron. We actually used 2 this phase. So this is the new Jedi Master Mace Windu team. I got that all R9 for the raid. Luckily, we get to use this pretty much every phase of territory battles. And Depa's Omicron is active. The one here at the bottom. It just makes them a complete nightmare to deal with. They just run through things. So go ahead and run this squad. Now, the reason why I think that it's a worthwhile investment to go ahead and invest in these territory battle Omicrons is because they buy you back time. They make things a lot easier, a lot more stress-free. And you know, even if it's not one phase, like you know, this could probably be done by other characters, other teams, maybe equally as fast even. This one definitely buys you back time in the later areas of the game. Like this Omicron is absolutely amazing throughout the entire TB, and they just melt through teams left and right on full auto. So you have a couple places you can spend Omicrons on, right? You got territory battle, you have conquest, which there's only a couple in conquest, and then it's PvP. It's either GAC or territory war, right? And for one reason or another, people will invest in one and not the other, or they invest in both and they try to split them. But my finding is that yes, they unlock encounters a lot of the times. It kind of used to be true. They kind of used to unlock counters, or they used to be, you know, Omicrons that you can put on that would provide a great defensive boon, right? That's not really the case anymore, especially with things like Jocasta, right? Or Mace Windu, right? They have 3 Omicrons. You know, maybe one of them is a big necessary Omicron, and the other 2 are kind of like just making the squad better. It's hard to tell. And sometimes you don't even get that, right? Sometimes the Omicrons don't even move the mark for the character. Yeah. Scion of Django was somewhat good at one point throughout his life in territory war. Other than that, it's a whole lot of wasted Omicrons. And every time I see somebody with an Omicron on every single one of the Inquisitors, my heart pours out for that person, because I have no idea what was going through their mind when they were just like, I gotta Omicron every leadership ability of these Inquisitors. But anyways, going into this last battle, we have a Jedi battle. A lot of people think it's a Galactic Republic one. It's not. It's only Jedi. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna use Mace Windu and Kit, because you need to, and then we're gonna go ahead and use Jedi Master Luke Skywalker, Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker, and Kyle Katarn, which I have newly Omicroned, and taken him to R7 so that I can use him in more phases of the territory battle. And he's been awesome. So this is one I highly recommend. If you don't have Omicron Kyle Katarn, go ahead and try to do this with Jedi Master Kenobi, General Anakin Skywalker, and I use Snips. So those are the 3 that I've done this before with. It's a little bit less consistent, doesn't always win, but this one should be pretty guaranteed full auto because of having a whole nother ability on Kyle Katarn's Omicron. So yeah. I remember the days when we were like, oh, I don't want to take Kit Fisto to R5. Why would I do that? And then he had that Datacron that wasn't even good. But so many people, myself included, were chasing relics to kind of use Datacrons back in the day when you needed them at R7 and stuff. Luckily, I think Kit's was an R5 one. They had reduced it down to R5, but yeah, it's funny, you know, seeing that there's all these characters that we were like, no, I don't want to take that character up. I don't want to use that character for TB, especially for TB. It's like combat mission. But the longer things go on, the more relics you acquire on people, and then all of a sudden you're using it in TV just because it's there mostly. I mean, I know a lot of people feel that way. Like, I might as well. I have them at R5. I have them at R6. So I guess I got to do it now, even though your guild was scoring perfectly fine without it. You're just like, I got it unlocked. It's my duty to go ahead and do it. But yeah, this one seems pretty consistent overall. This is a lot more safer now that we have the Omicron. Provides a whole lot more throwing it down. And I know some of you are also going to have to platoon some of these characters. I'm aware of that. I know it's not going to work for everybody, but that's why I want you guys to share your full auto squads in the comments down below, so that hopefully there's something for everybody. Hopefully people can go through the list once it's all put together and just be like, okay, well, I got to platoon this, but I can still use this. Or, you know, I don't have this character right now and I'm still farming that, so I can go ahead and use this in its place. Because I know a lot of people don't have Jedi Master Mace and all the characters. I think everybody will at some point, but they don't have it currently, right? So that'll be a big help. Now, this last battle that we are going into is the fleet battle, and I now have Profundity after a long time. I mean, I've had it for like a year or so, but I definitely took Profundity from 4 stars. So you can do this with Home 1, That is something to keep in mind. It just works a little bit differently, but it still worked, and it would take a while to get caught up on. Got to remember that you have your squads all here. And this one is just rebels, pretty much. Normal 3 that go with Profundity. And then you run it and hit full auto. Now, this isn't the case for all the phases. It can get a little dicier in some phases. Now, either you care about that and you play it manually, or you won't, and you'll just run it on full auto and take your losses as they come. That's why it really helps when everybody kind of does their part, and it's good to have guides so that people feel motivated to just go ahead and do their part, because it's not that big of an ask when you have all these full auto squads that you can use. A lot of people don't know that, and they end up not doing any combat missions because they say, I just don't have time, right? Because they look at it as like, this is an hour-long task rather than me just hitting full auto and putting it on my desk for 5 minutes. But when you set up people for success and you give them plans and strategies, then it takes some of the load off the rest of the people, because we don't have to go 100%. We don't have to get every wave, because they're picking up some more slack than they used to be, you know? And I've seen this a great many times. It's helped a lot of people. I've worked with people individually, going through their entire roster to kind of figure out what they need. In my guild, I've done in my guild, for the betterment of everybody in the guild, right? And it pays off. It pays off in a big way, and that's why we've been able to score push kind of so high. We're at 44 stars right now, and once we get Mace unlocked, well, maybe even before we get Mace unlocked, we're going for the max crate on this next raid. We'll see how we do, but once we get the raid maxed, that's going to be the biggest thing. And after that, we're going for 45, 46, 47 stars in TB. We're going to be looking at R9 platoons on Malachor and trying to max those so that we can start moving that direction and get into the phase 6 planets eventually, one day, you know? But yeah, that takes care of all the squads on Coruscant. Pretty sure. I'll double check. But yeah, everything's maxed. I look forward to putting that spreadsheet together and getting everybody a bunch of different squads. I'm interested in seeing what you all come up with. That's going to be a big one, because you know, it's hard. You can't really practice on these things. You get one try every 2 weeks to practice something. So definitely looking forward to that. If you got value out of this video, go ahead and leave me a like. If you want to see more content like this, hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you know when more guides like this come out. You all have a good night. Thank you.